deal with around his medical condition and him wanting to play sports and having to deal with all of these different things because he was having these seizures, and it took them some time to figure out what was going on and what kind of treatment and everything. But the book itself is actually very hopeful and very filled with, and she has anxiety disorder, so she always is looking for the bad thing to happen. And the one, she's lying on the floor thinking how great things are, and then she goes to bed, and then she wakes up to her son having this major seizure, and he's a teenager. So there's the bad thing, right? And it's her dealing with that and learning, the whole family learning to deal with it. So I thought it was really well done. It was really well done. I know it doesn't sound like a topic of memoir that you could really engage with, but she does a great job with it. So, yeah.
And my nonfiction reading has skewed heavily toward not so much memoir as small slices of history.
Yeah, okay.
So, The Emperor of All Ailments, which is a story of the early development of chemotherapy in children. It's about cancer treatment in general and identification of cancer as a subspecialty worthy of study rather than something that's just a hopeless thing. And then how they developed a lot of these chemotherapies specifically aimed at childhood leukemia. And on the one hand, it's just absolutely tragic because you get all this investment in patient reports. Names are changed, obviously, but we're trying this and this and this and this and this, and look, the counts are different and the counts are better, and baby died. And it's like, ugh. But it's a good layman's discussion of how clinical science tries to work.
Right.
And it's for the medical professional, it's like, oh my gosh, what IRB approved fact? But this is the pioneering days when you could do these things. And it makes you realize, man, if they hadn't done that, we wouldn't have to worry about IRBs because everybody would just die.
Wow. That's
it is an excellent book. It's a good read. It gets a little dense at times because it's written by a physician, and he gets very heavily sometimes into the biochemistry of cancer and how we're going to attack it and how those decisions were made. For the layman, it would be a little bit dense. For me, it was like, oh, that is so cool.
Well, I just added it to my pile. Yeah. So my TBR pile, which will be here long after I'm not because it never ends. But
most of what I've been reading over the summer has just been fun stuff.
Yeah.
Just entertainment without
I've read,
pretense.
I think, 30 picture books this summer. I've kind of been studying the picture books again, and because I have clients who are writing picture books again, so I'm delving back in and making sure that I'm paying attention to what's happening in the picture book realm right now and what books are being published, and making sure that I'm keeping up with a lot of that. So, and I also am writing a new blog that will be coming out in September that talks about the language of illustration. So, so I'm also, feeding the hopper for that. So, I have to say, I have a new thing that I have to talk about. That is, I found a new. It's not a soft drink. It's a carbonated beverage that I really, really like. But I think more than anything, I think the advertising is what did it, and the branding is what did it. It's called Liquid Death, and their tagline is "Murder Your Thirst," and.
Okay.
Yeah. And one of the flavors is Bury It Alive. So I'm like, this is my new favorite drink, and there's no alcohol in it and there's no sugar in it. So it's great for me and it's tasty. So, but I just love I just like to talk about it. My new discovery.
I've discovered ultra caffeinated coffee.
Ultra caffeinated coffee. Oh boy.
So death by coffee. Black Death.
See, these people know how to market to us. That's it. They know what they're doing. They're marketing right at us.
Electric Buzz.
Yeah.
Which my wife calls coffee, buzz, buzz.
Mango chainsaw. And what's the other one? Oh, I can't remember the lime one, but anyway.
See, if you're going to put names like that on it, though, you got to be able to back it up.
It's tasty. I like it. So
I'll have to give it a try. I mean, these coffees, like, yeah, it's like, oh, oh my. You still my beating heart. You know?
Well, let's see. What else do we want to talk about? Well, I think the big thing out in the book industry is how Barnes & Noble is not stocking hardbacks, especially for middle grade. And so there's a big uproar about that. And I just thought it was worth a mention because it's all the rage right now. Everybody's talking about it. But to me, it's a business decision. They're not selling hardbacks, so they're not ordering hardbacks.
I haven't been in a Barnes & Noble for 3 or 4 months, maybe longer. And the last time I was there was to purchase gifts for young readers, 9-year-old. What I noticed, but I always browse. Mm-hmm. And what I noticed was I didn't see any hardbacks then.
Right.
Everything on the shelves is trade paperback. And you'll see a special table of hardbacks of, particularly popular authors,
right,
or the cheap hardbacks that
right,
are reprints of,
classics.
Classics.
Yeah. Well, I think, there are a couple of things that feed into that. One is that it's less expensive for the buyer to buy a paperback.
Right.
And it's also shipping costs are lower because they're not so heavy. Because hardbacks weigh more. Because
printing costs are lower.
Right.
I'm surprised, and I've been saying this for years, but I'm surprised that no one has jumped on the print-on-demand machines. I realize their upfront investment is huge. But if you're going to have this huge investment in stock on the shelves and shipping costs, and
why not have the
machine right there?
Yeah. Yeah.
And, hey, I'll print your book. Here's a coupon for your coffee. Go have 15 minutes, of peace and quiet in our coffee shop.
Is that how it works, though? Is that
how
it
is.
Works? Yeah.
And quite literally,
that's
they can print a trade paperback on demand in 15 minutes.
Oh, then there you go. Why aren't they not doing that?
Well, the cost of the machine is
exorbitant.
high.
Okay.
The quality of the product that comes out is not quite as high as, the glossy trade paperback. Mm-hmm. You don't get the glossy cover. You get a matte cover.
I'd rather have a matte cover.
Well, you don't get the glitz.
Right.
And the wait time can be longer than 15 or 20 minutes. Sometimes it takes a couple of hours, depending on the book, whether they have to get the program and the formatting in from another location. But for popular books that are selling well, they're all right there in the little machine.
Right.
Now, the cost of the machine is huge, and you have the cost of paper and ink and everything else, and then the cost of maintenance, and the thing can break down. So I understand why, but this is the same machine that is doing print on demand for Amazon.
Right.
There's no difference. It's just that it's in the,
warehouse.
Right. And you get your book, in 24 hours? I guarantee you that book is not sitting printed.
Chances are.
In the warehouse. Chances are it was printed, that day.
Mm.
Now, I do print on demand for my own self-published books, and it used to take 5 days. Now it's taken a couple weeks, but I think that has more to do with
how many print-on-demand books are being...
print-on-demand books are there, and then shipping.
Right. Right, yeah, because that takes time.
It's just a model that I've been kind of surprised. Now, it's not the kind of thing that your indie bookstore is going to do.
Right.
You're going to spend $2 million on one of these machines, plus the cost of upkeep. But a big outfit like Barnes & Noble?
Yeah.
They've already got
But
the
then they'd have to
property.
have so many of them, I guess. I don't know. That's a
One
really
of them,
good,
one or two of them on
Right.
hand. Then they'd have their specialty books, their glitzy, they
Right.
still stock books, but it would be the coffee table books and the collection of photos books. This is not good for illustrated books. This
Right.
is print books.
right.
But they already have the coffee shop. They already have the game center. They already have their music stuff. Why not this?
That's a good question. Well, let's see if that happens. Anybody picks up on that. So before we go, how about a writing update?
I am 2/3 of the way through my current project. It's been a slog I'm at a stage where there is not much in the historical record about what went on between March and May.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot that went on because the events of May indicate that stuff was going on. It's just not documented,
Mm-hmm.
which on the one hand is good for me because I get to play.
Right.
But on the other hand is a little bit tough because I have to stay still within the parameters of what they would have known and what would have gone on. But I'm gonna have a little fun with having a character that there's very little known about appear at a key point where we don't know if she was there or not because we don't know the woman who actually christened the Enrica. We don't know who she was. So I want to make her one of my main characters.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And there's going to be some undercurrent with that. And in the crowd, then, is going to be one of the main opposition characters who's there kind of undercover watching all these events unfold.
Oh.
So
All right. Well, I'm
It's
looking
gonna-
forward to that.
I really, and I may have to engage your services as a book coach, Sharon, because I'm too close to this to really tell, is this just bogging down? Or is this along the lines, I'm trying to write along the lines of, Le Carre, Smiley's people and Tinker Tailor, There's a lot of tradecraft going on, but it's not flashy. It's
Right.
not James Bond.
Right.
It's the spy who came in from the cold. I mean, it's, this is,
Right.
and it's, I don't know if it's interesting.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I guess we will.
Find out. Well, I happen to know that your third book in the Magic series is currently getting close to coming to press. It's,
boy.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to
It's
that.
very close. It's in copy edits, and there's a cover being done. I'm very excited about that. So very close.
I want to get that one out. I'd love if we could get that out by the end of the year.
I think it's coming. I think that's going to happen.
You say I've got a series of books. You got 2 books. You got 3 books. That's a series, and then maybe you can make people wait for but look forward to the next
Okay.
one.
All right. Yeah.
When you've only got 2, it's kind of like, you wrote a couple.
Well,
books.
you're close. It's coming. It's
coming.
It's coming soon. Dare I say sooner than some other people's third books. So, but we won't get into that. So I have a new book coming out also before the end of the year, and so Blood from a Rose, my dark fantasy that borders on horror, is right now in final mode. So I'm waiting for an arc to come. Boop boop. I'm so happy.
So
So.
you have not talked about this much.
No, I really haven't because it's partly because it's so different for me and it's been years in the making. It's really made up of short, dark fantasy and short, dark stories and flash fiction that went very dark on me very quickly when I was trying to write, I'll just have this prompt and I'll write flash fiction from this picture of a flower. And oh my God, that went really dark really fast. And some of my darker poetry. So it's a collection that I've put together. And the way that it's organized and structured is that it brings you into the stories as night sets in and takes you throughout the darkest part of the night and brings you back out at the end as we're coming out of the darkness. And I loved doing it, and I really am happy with the structure and the organization, and I'm excited for it because it is so different for me. So it's a collection.
It'll be interesting to see then. And then you're still working on your sequel to
Collars and Curses. Yeah, so that's coming next. That's for next year. That's it's got a ways to go. It's not first drafted yet, so it's planned. It's started. It's just not. It's not there yet. So yeah, but
we'll talk about that later. Then.
Yes, we will. We will talk about that later.
Because I'm looking forward to that too. I want to see how those characters play out.
I'm having fun with it, so that's part of it, right? I'm having a lot of fun with it, so yeah. Well, gosh,
I think we've run out of stuff to babble on about
but
here.
it's been great getting back into the swing. I don't know how our producer's going to edit this into something that's smaller bites, but boy, I've had a good time.
So have I. This has been fun.
Well, I guess we'll see you all next time. Thanks for listening.
And thank you for buying Brick Cave books.